All right, it is Saturday and the first full day of Winterween. Friday, still had work, still busy. Today, honestly, I did a lot of things that weren't reading. The Lorwyn Eclipse set for Magic the Gathering is coming out next Friday. I've signed up for the pre-release and I'm really getting into the cards and the lore and the story. In fact, I might end up reading some of the online stories for the vlog. I don't know, and we'll maybe talk about that world, or maybe I'll make a separate video. We'll see. I did manage to get a couple of books read. I reread The Summer Hikaru Died #1 and really enjoyed the reread. I had forgotten some of the details like in the middle of the book and toward the end. This seems like it's going to be a really good, maybe slow burn horror comic. We'll have to see how volume 2 continues it, which I do have for the readathon. Really looking forward to continuing this story. I also read through the Universal Monsters Frankenstein. This book is much more aligned with the Universal Monster movie depiction of Frankenstein. We have Fritz here, who is helping Dr. Frankenstein. A lot of interesting use of color in this one. When they were in like the lab, that was all colored green. Certain sections had a really red palette or a purple palette. I found it very striking. The story itself, somewhat straightforward. Like if you pick up a Frankenstein book, you kind of have an idea of the overarching themes and messaging that is going to be present in that book. But I feel like this one really nailed the atmosphere, the vibe of the Universal horror movies. So I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to picking up the next one, which we might do Wednesday of next week. I would definitely recommend Image's Universal Monster line. The only downside to it, the only critique I really have of it, is because they are all hardcover, this is a $25 book, and it is fairly light. So I feel like the price point is maybe a little bit high, but the stories have all been excellent. I think the plan for tonight is to put on the reading sprints that Gabby did yesterday, which I think is about 4 hours, and try to get some more reading done of Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is one of my books to read at night. Hopefully I'll be able to get through it, but if not, I will probably finish it up tomorrow. The other books I ordered should be here tomorrow. I should get through Dungeon Crawler Carl, probably get through at least one more of the manga. We'll see how it goes. I'll check in tomorrow. Update for day 3. We are finally getting some wintry weather here in Texas, and so it's probably not going to last, but at least for now it's a nice 40 degrees outside. I'm feeling in the winter mood. But I got some updates for the reading. I did finally finish Gate of the Feral Gods by Matt Denneman. This was my book to read at night, so that is one of the challenges down. This one is, I would say, the strongest in the series so far. This is the book that Denneman finally hit his stride in the storytelling with this series, which is interesting because he's neither a stranger to the lit RPG genre or even to series writing, but I suppose any artistic endeavor is going to have a bit of a learning curve as you get used to the story and you kind of flesh it out over time. Up to this point, I have felt like each volume has been a solid read, very entertaining, obviously a very well-crafted world, but it's felt like a very top-tier manga series, like a One Piece, more than like a Dresden Files, because each book just kind of stops, and at least with the last one, I feel like the climax was about halfway through the book. So With this one, I feel like the pacing was much better. The overall goal for this floor of the dungeon is very well laid out, the problems very well expressed, and the plot twists as they were well integrated into the story and didn't feel disjointed. Dinneman also left the big multi-book confrontation plot points for the end of the book, making them feel much more like climactic moments rather than creating this moment of high tension in the middle of the book and then still having to wrap up the rest of the story, making it feel like kind of an afterthought. So I thought that was a very good decision. This also contains one of the cleverest plots by Carl so far in what he does toward the end of the book, which I found very satisfying. I still think the crass humor is going to be a hurdle for some readers, but overall, I think if you're a fan of lit RPG or Dungeons and Dragons, anything like that, you would get a kick out of this series. And I hate saying, oh man, just wait till the fifth 500-page book and then it gets good. It's been good, but I will say that at book 4, this is the strongest one so far. I gave it 5 out of 5. I also read The Summer Hikaru Died, Volume 2. I had finished Volume 1 yesterday. It was a reread. This one continues the story, gives us a little glimpse into maybe where the larger story is heading, and is gearing up to be, lore-wise, something similar to When They Cry, in terms of just this idea of malevolent spirits and haunting and possession in a way, but also is telling a very LGBTQ plus positive story about these two boys and their exploration of their feelings of one another, even though one of them now is some kind of weird eldritch being. It's weird. I could see you getting a kick out of this, whether you like When They Cry or if you like Heartstoppers, maybe, because the focus is on this relationship between these two boys and a lot of exploration of Japanese stigmas, especially those toward children, so or young adults. And so I found that very interesting that we're using horror as a way to explore those topics. 4 out of 5 stars for this one. This was just a bonus read. I don't think this was under any kind of category. I just wanted to read it. I also got in Blood on the Tracks and Hellsing Deluxe Volume 1. I've already read through Blood on the Tracks 5. Hellsing is going to be my next read. Blood on the Tracks continues to be a very unnerving thriller, horror. I'm not quite sure where to put this. This was my pick for a book with red or blood on the cover. It has blood on the cover. So that is now 2 of the 5 prompts done for Winterween. It's definitely unsettling, but in no way is there any kind of like overt threat. It's always just this like looming sense of like disquiet and unease, and it's really unclear what is going to happen in any given moment, especially with Seiichi's mom. I'm never quite sure what her deal is and what she is capable of doing, what she's going to do. This one focuses much more on Seiichi's relationship with another student, Fukiishi, who encourages him to just abandon his mom, like get out of his situation. But even there, where it seems like that would maybe be like a Romeo Juliet kind of story where they're like running away together, there's like an unnerving feeling about the whole relationship. It still feels really stressed. It still feels really awkward. Pretty much every character in this book feels emotionally damaged or emotionally compromised in some way, and it creates tension in these scenes that I don't feel would otherwise have them. Some more excellent panels in this one as well. Just really using a minimalist approach to the art style and to the writing. Like, there's very little dialogue. These read incredibly quickly, but I do feel like it's still sustaining that sense of unease and dread. Once again, gave this 5 stars. I'm really enjoying the series. I don't know why it took so long to pick it up, and I will likely get more in the near future. But I'm going to start jumping into Hellsing Deluxe Edition Volume 1. We may play some Unlock tonight or tomorrow night. And again, I kind of want to rewatch the series once I get into this, so we'll see if that happens. I will be back later in the week for a second update. I imagine the rest of the week is going to be a little bit slower going, but I'll give another update toward the end of the readathon and just get a final tally of what we got read and how the readathon went. So yeah, until then, take care.